Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Backstage with Broadway Utica. I'm your host today, and we are so excited to have a special guest with us. He needs no introduction at all. If you are familiar with the area or from here, then you know him, probably his family, and all of his, cousins and aunts and everything like I do. It's just such a small world around here, as you know, but I'm proud to have the one and only Mr. Michael Mott with us, joining us from New York City.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm in my apartment and there's construction happening. So if you hear noises, it's because we're all on top of each other and there's a full building being built across the street.
Always something going on in the city that doesn't sleep, that's for sure. And
Exactly.
like I said, Michael is in New York, so this is obviously being done virtual, so there's a little bit of a delay and things like that, but it is live and we're going to get through it, so bear with us. But I'm so excited to have you. I know I can talk about you for hours, but I'll let you talk about yourself. If you just want to tell everybody just a little bit about yourself, how you got started in your history with Central New York and where you are today.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for having me. I'm so excited that you even asked me to do this. It's very exciting. I was born and raised in New Hartford, and I've been here in New York for 13 years. I went to Ithaca College and graduated with a BFA in musical theater performance. And since I've been in New York, my career has kind of taken several different directions. I have performed professionally off Broadway national tours, regionally, internationally, and I did that for about 7 years, and then I kind of delved into writing, and that has been my main bread and butter for the last 6 years. My debut album came out in 2014 on the Broadway Records label called Where the Sky Ends, and that kind of just took my career kind of took off, and that's what I've been doing since. And I've been writing for different artists, writing for myself, writing for Broadway stars, writing for pop singers, and making albums and making records, and that's like my true love and passion. But it all bridges back into musical theater because I also write shows, and I have several shows happening. Well, not right now because of COVID, but various musicals that I've written in various stages of development internationally. There's new commissions that I've been working on for international stages. One of my shows is in development to come to Broadway. Another show is being workshopped here in New York for hopefully off Broadway. So there's a lot of things happening with my writing career. But while I was at Ithaca, I actually studied under a woman named Carol McCamus, who was my vocal professor. And I told her that I was very interested in learning the voice and the technique of the voice, not only for myself, but teaching it. Because teaching has always been one of my biggest passions, and I love it. I used to play school with my cousins, who you mentioned in the opening.
Yeah.
That was fun for me, teaching my cousins anything I was learning. So I love the voice, and I love working with young students in the next generation of Broadway talent. And so I'm so happy that you asked me to come and do this with Broadway Utica.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I know how busy you are
Yeah.
and taking time
Oh, I
out of
love
your
it.
schedule. But can you tell us a little bit, like, have you performed your whole life? How did you get started? Was there a special person just influenced you? I know we have lot of students listening today, and we'll get more into that later. But is there any way, like, where should you be, or how did you get started? Maybe in those teen years.
Yeah, I mean, I started from my earliest memory was I was obsessed with music and performing, and like my first memory is the Elephant Show with Sharon, Lois, and Bram. I was just obsessed with that at like 3 years old,
Mhm.
and so I always kind of gravitated towards that, and my mother really nurtured that. She really, um, if I love like Disney and sing-alongs, and then I grew into Mariah Carey that when she was coming out when I was like 5, and I was obsessed with Mariah
I know
Carey,
your
and then
obsession with her.
I am. I still to this day. To this day, and I've been very
I
fortunate
love
enough to
it.
have experiences with her. I mean, it's wild. It doesn't even seem real. But then I ended up discovering musical theater, and I ended up discovering I could sing thanks to Brooke Thormallon and Stephen Paparo at New Hartford High School. They kind of shepherded that, and then I met Jackie Osterman, who was part of the Hartford Players Youth Theater, who shepherded it as well. And then Jeff Walters, who is my high school history teacher, was like, you should audition for the high
That's a
school
good guy.
musical. He's the best. And, Jeff, Brooke, and Steven all kind of, like were my early tribe that pushed me to do this. They were like, you can sing, you should do this. Then I discovered musical theater in my junior year of high school. And honestly, like having a good support team around you is really what's imperative. And so I'm so happy to be able to come back to my hometown and hopefully be that support system, a piece of the support system to anybody interested in doing this profession, especially now when things are so crazy with COVID and like we don't have state, like my whole industry is shut down for who knows when. So you need that support system, I need the support system, so they'll be helping me just as much.
Yeah, I call on you often. You never say no. We can't, express how much that means to us here in your community. And, we're always rooting for you. We know how busy you are. We can't wait to see all your talents come to light in, the next couple months and years. And you're definitely our lifeline, and you're into Broadway and to New York. And we just can't wait to teach our community and the youth so much and how you got started. I know so many people idolize everything that you do, and we're
that's so
happy
nice.
to give you this platform. No, we appreciate
that's so
it.
Nice. It's so amazing because like, I was doing another interview and I talk about how like I'm here in my apartment writing on this little piano and just doing what I do. And it's amazing to hear that because not that I don't feel it, but you don't realize that when you're just writing and churning things out. And like, I hope people listen to it. I hope people like it. I hope people, so thank you for saying that. It's very nice.
No, we do, and our youth does. We're just starting a new class of our Youth Ambassador program. We're going through our virtual orientations right now, but they're going to have a chance to experience you with your talents at the fullest through virtual voice lessons, which we'll get into shortly. But you are a big part of our program, and although they may not get to talk to you as much or things like that, you are definitely studied through them. So we appreciate that, and it's really exciting. And I'm excited for more future projects that we have kind of up our sleeve that we'll be rolling out soon. And I know you know what those are, but just a piece of advice for the kids, for everybody out there watching, maybe an auditioning tip or trick or something to follow your dreams, your passion, how to get into the heart of New York City and the heart of Broadway, just anything, any insight you can share and little, secrets to our audience today of any advice or maybe the best piece of advice you've been given.
Honestly, it's going to sound very cliche, but whatever you can do to silence everything else outside of you, be still with yourself and know who you are and be as authentic to who you are as possible. Especially like in the times we're living in right now, it has never been more embraced to be more of yourself than any other time. I don't even know if that was English, but please, hopefully you know what I just meant.
Oh, no, it was. And I got chills when you said it.
Well, good. I mean, honestly, it's, we may hear the same song, I'll pick a cliche song, On the Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady, one of the most overdone male songs ever, but it's a classic and it's amazing. Every male tenor probably has that song in their book. However, if you sing it inputting your own experiences and your narrative onto it, that with your own individual experience that only you have, it's going to sound different than everybody else. And it makes it fresh and it makes it unique. So being authentically yourself is really my cliche piece of advice, because there is only one you and there's only one person that can do it the way you do, and that's you.
And I love that, because I think when I think of Broadway, I think of the several different roles that people play, and the actors and actresses are always switching out or auditioning for different roles. So I love how you say to be authentic to yourself, even though you're on a stage where you can be anybody who you want to be and play any role, obviously, that you wish. But at the end of the day, you're still yourself and being true to that. So putting a little spin on your audition to make it your own, but also to give credit to the role or whatever that you're auditioning for. So I love that. And I do think, especially in these times, it's so important to be yourself.
But you have to, yes, and you have to know yourself in order to put your own spin onto something. So the more authentically yourself you are, the more unique your portrayal of that character will be, rather than just mimicking someone else's portrayal. It's something I talk about with I have a few friends who are covers for like huge stars. So like the star, I'm not going to say who, but say it's Kristen Chenoweth. Someone who covers her whenever she goes on and follows her from show to show to show. It's almost like they sometimes feel like they have to be that person's mimic or do an impersonation, because the audience is like such a huge name that people think they have to be them. But the more they can be themselves, the more authentic it is. And like, I know Bette Midler has her kind of cover on Broadway, who is Donna Murphy. And Donna Murphy went into Hello Dolly, and she played that role completely differently than Bette Midler did. And you know, when you have a huge star like that and your name's above the title, Bette Midler and Hello Dolly, people plan their whole lives to go see Bette Midler and Hello Dolly. But what if Bette's sick and the cover is on, not the understudy, the cover? The audience can exchange their tickets because her name is above the title, but also like watch the other person's interpretation of it. Watch them do it, because she's not doing an impersonation of Bette. She's playing herself, and or bringing herself into the role. And I don't know, that's really something it's just really hard. I can understand from both sides. I'm kind of going off on a tangent right now, but all I'm trying to say is
we love
be
it.
authentic to yourself.
I'm engrossed in it. I'm right here. I'm with you. I'm like,
I was like, find the way out of this maze, Michael.
No, I love it. And we love it. And our audience loves it. And this is what our podcast platform is, that, you know, bringing real talent and passionate people and people who support their community, live theater, the arts, giving them a platform and giving everybody a platform to truly believe that you could do whatever you want in this world. And, you know, that's part of Broadway Utica's mission is, you know, not only high quality shows, but also, you know, being true to yourself, being who you want to be, being, you know, a proud member of your community and things like that. So I love that you're going off on a tangent. I support the tangents fully, and we are definitely here to listen. And we're not done with you yet, so don't leave us. A few other things before we get into your virtual voice technique classes that you have graciously so offered to do with Broadway Utica, and we are forever thankful. Favorite Broadway musical? And you can say a couple. I know I don't know if you could just pick one, but I want to hear like, what's in Michael's head? What is his favorite musical out there? What is something that we should be lining up to see when Broadway reopens?
Well, it's not currently playing, but one of the earliest shows that got me into theater was Ragtime. I love Ragtime. And it was from like 97. If I had to pick something that's currently playing, see, I like big sweeping timeless pieces. I'm not the biggest fan of contemporary, and I'm in the minority here, but I like timeless, everlasting shows, preferably ones that don't feel super dated. But like Ragtime to me is about the turn of the century, and it's so accessible today still. So I like, you know, like Secret Garden. I love like big sweeping romantic lush shows that still feel timeless.
Okay, see,
I'm in the minority
ready to line up. I know, because we're opposites here. I've already seen Pretty Woman. I'm gonna go back. I could see that over and over. I know that's going on tour. I will go see Jagged Little Pill again. I can't wait to see Mean Girls. While I appreciate both, like we're bringing in South Pacific this year again back to our season. Timeless, love it. I can keep seeing that. So I see both sides. I am a Disney fan though too.
Yes,
so
I know.
The Lion King.
I just saw Lion King for the very first time.
Tell me your thoughts.
I loved it. I love the movie, and so seeing it on stage, I loved it. It's so well done. So well done. And that score is just perfect. Elton John really nailed it.
He did. He did. All right. So let's get back into you. Let's talk about your virtual voice technique, courtesy of Bank of Utica, that has
Yes.
sponsored this event with us. You are coming to us virtually through Zoom or some
Yep.
similar platform. I'm pretty sure it's Zoom, for 4 different sessions, all the same virtual voice technique, right? With Michael Mott directly live. There's 2 dates in October that everybody can choose from, and 2 in November. All of the information is up currently at broadwayutica.org, and they can purchase tickets today. But tell us some key takeaways of this class. What could people expect? How's it going to run? Give us all the good stuff there.
Sure. So we're basically doing. I've been doing a lot of these master classes with college students around the country, and I've kind of developed a platform, a rundown, I guess, a schedule
Yeah,
that works really well. Um, I think we're limiting it to a certain number of people per class, so it feels
yeah,
like a very
5.
small, intimate. Yep, it feels like a very small, intimate group, and we will do a group vocal warm up from here. I will play it, and everyone will sing, and then the other 4 students will mute themselves, and one at a time they will sing their short song cut. So hopefully it's like a minimum of 32 bars. But if it goes to 62, 64, great. But around 32 bar cut of a song from a Broadway show or a musical theater song. The show may not have been on Broadway, but it's still a theater song. That's fine. And I will give feedback and we will talk depending on what the student needs, whether that's song interpretation, vocal technique, acting, breath support, whatever it is. We will talk about it. And the other 4 students will watch and be able to take notes and, apply whatever may work for them. And then each person will have their own individual session, and then we'll end with a Q&A, and people can ask questions and we can break it down that way.
I love that. Okay, so in a perfect world, I'm going to register my daughter for your class. She's only 8,
Great.
but this class is for 15 and older. So I register my child. What are the next steps? What do they need to bring to this Zoom? What should they have
Sure.
prepared besides the music? How should they be watching it, on a phone or a computer? What are the necessities?
So they can go to YouTube or SoundCloud and find a track, meaning the accompaniment. You can either type in like piano accompaniment track or karaoke track or instrumental track and find the track to their song. Now, what's hard about this is that you're probably not going to find a 32 bar cut, but if you can, if you have a short song that's, hopefully like a minute, minute and a half, great. If not, let's not have the songs be over like 3 minutes, 3:30 the tops, because then we're going to be taking away from everyone else. So find a track and then log into Zoom on a computer, not a phone, not an iPad, on a computer, and make sure you have good Wi-Fi connection. And then play your track on a second device that is not your computer. So play the track from a phone or from an iPad or something. Even better if you have a speaker. If you have a portable speaker where you can play it from your phone while we're zooming together, that's great. And that way, when you sing, it's not the track is not overpowering the microphone, and all we can hear is the instrumental, and we can't hear your voice. So that is my recommendation.
Pretty
And we'll
easy.
go
I
one at
love
a
it.
time. Pretty simple.
Yes, and each class is 75 minutes, and it's only
Correct.
you could take multiple classes, with Michael if you want to perform 4 different bars or something like that. But only one class session is just necessary. But obviously, the more the merrier. Those dates for the classes are October 27th, October 29th, November 10th, and November 12th. All start at 7 p.m. And go till about 8:15. You'll have time with Michael for a Q&A, ask him all those questions, take his advice, lean on him and his intelligence for this industry and all his knowledge. And we are forever grateful, Michael, to have you with us today. You have been a huge supporter of Broadway Utica. You were in our, virtual talent showcase, so to speak, a couple months back when we were all in lockdown, and you,
Oh, wow.
gave people just an outlet to forget about everything else that's going on in the world. And we thank you for that. Once again, our classes are sponsored by Bank of Utica for the virtual voice and vocal technique class with Mr. Michael Mott. All tickets are available right now at BroadwayUtica.org. Big thank you to Michael for taking time out of his busy day in New York City and sharing all of that insight with us. We will check back in with him soon, and we have more events scheduled with him throughout the year that we can't wait to share with you. Just some quick pointers before we let Michael go and all of you go today. Visit our social media channels for everything that we talked about today: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. BroadwayUtica.org, like I said, for all of this information and tickets. And then going on right now that we just kicked off was a virtual auction. So if you are a fan of Broadway Utica or Broadway in general, we have opened up our vault, everything from 1958 to today, signed posters of the amazing touring productions that were performed at the beautiful Stanley Stage, courtesy of Broadway Utica. Those will be up to grabs with signed memorabilia, gift cards to Broadway Utica and local area restaurants, Broadway HD packages, holiday streaming, completely loaded and full of goodies for you. It's all on our website, BroadwayUtica.org. It's all done virtually, and it will roll out until the end of this month. And then few tickets left for Beetlejuice playing on October 24th at the Drive-In Movie at Par Technology. Come support Broadway Utica with this event. Bring your friends and family. Socially distance will be required, and we'll be following all CDC guidelines to make it completely safe. Come enjoy a night of food trucks, coffee, cider, and just your family and friends as we kick off the holiday season together. First with Halloween, and I do consider it a holiday. Any reason to celebrate, I am there. So thank you, everybody. Special thank you to Michael. I can't wait to run into his family. I love that. I love that. It's like a little Real Housewives. Well, it was like reminding me of Atlanta when they hold the peaches. So I'm gonna cheers to you with some of this. But any reason to celebrate, Broadway Utica finds one. So you can always tune in to Broadway Utica on the first and third Thursday of every month with our Backstage podcast, courtesy of Disruption Network and Bank of Utica. Next will be on our next podcast in November, Megan McGrogan, Executive Director of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. I know this was like a packed half hour of information, and we're just so thankful that you stayed with us and listened to it all. Hopefully we'll see you at the virtual classes, and please visit michaelmott.net for all information and all things Michael Mott and ways that you can currently support him and other classes that he offers. So once again, Michael, thank you. Stay safe in New York City. We are thinking of all you out there, and I think that's it. Anything else from you? Did we cover it all?
That's beautiful. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, I will say that if people are planning to take multiple virtual classes, just pick different songs so we're not working the same thing.
Absolutely. And I forgot to mention, Michael, that you will have some youth ambassadors in your virtual classes from our student body this year, thanks to Bank of Utica, who sponsored a couple children. So they're really excited to get with you, and we can't wait to send you all their information so that you guys can connect. But thank you, Bank of Utica, for that. That's just a huge help to our students, who so many are virtual right now and missing out on drama club and spring and fall musicals, and just a big hole in our hearts for the theater industry right now. But we'll get through this together, as we always do, and we'll be hearing from you really soon. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy your beautiful weekend ahead.
Thank you.